and welcome to Telile Today. Today joining me in the studio is Holly MacIntosh. Welcome to Telile, Holly.
Thank you.
Now you are an employee of the Heart and Stroke Foundation.
That's
Can you
right.
tell me a bit about what you do for the Heart and Stroke Foundation?
Yes, I am the program coordinator for special events for Cape Breton Island, and I look after such things as the school-based programs, Jump Rope for Heart, Hoops for Heart, Paint the Rink Red, and I also do the Big Bike Ride.
And let's say when you came in today, you provided me with a heart, and that's for...
These are what we call our dress red pins, and they're used during Heart Month and at other times to promote healthy heart.
So when canvassers come door to door, we should be seeing the heart, I suppose?
I'm not sure exactly whether all the canvassers would have them. I would hope that and assume that they would have them.
Yes. Yeah. Now, I would like to talk about the canvassing, and I know that's not really your forte or your requirements here, Holly, but when people do canvass, there's a team captain, I understand, who gets the canvassers in that community.
That's right.
And they go and they do a certain range. They might start at the top of a hill and go to an intersection. Or what, if anything, can you tell me a bit about the door-to-door campaigns?
Okay, well, the door-to-door campaign is coordinated by a lady named Arlene Harris out of Sydney, and she's the program coordinator for all of Cape Breton Island. So any team captain or anyone in any of the communities through Cape Breton would at some point be dealing with Arlene Harris.
Okay.
During the Heart Month, which is February, close to 2/3 of the annual revenue money is raised through the door-to-door campaign. And that money is vital to continue in the battle against the diseases that account for 40% of all the deaths in the province are related to heart disease and stroke. And the mission of the person-to-person, P2P campaign, we call it, is to raise funds for research and health promotion and to increase awareness surrounding heart disease and stroke. We have 8,000 dedicated volunteers across the province, many of which are right here in our own Strait area. This past year, through the generous support of the donors, the campaign raised close to $600,000 for health promotion and research. It's excellent. And information that I feel is important to share with you folks in your coverage area involves facts based on Cape Breton Island, and I believe that you will be showing some facts that relate to just how serious heart disease is here in Cape Breton.
Right. So 2/3 of all the money is raised in the month of February doing door-to-door.
That's right.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
In a short period of time.
In a short period of time.
And did you say all that money goes to research, or?
All of the money that the Heart and Stroke raises goes to research and health promotion.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Okay. Now, I've had personal experience, and I was going to bring in Dad's pillow, because anybody, if you have been affected by heart disease and anybody you know has had heart surgery, they come home from the hospital clutching a little red pillow.
Yes.
Dad's pillow is kind of pink. It's been washed quite a few times. And one of the things I think that also helps raise money is the cookbooks, because I bought one.
That's right. The Heart and Stroke Foundation has made 7, I believe, cookbooks.
And they're called Heart Smart.
Yep. They're called Heart Smart cookbooks, and they publish 7. And the books provide consumers with healthy recipes accompanied by nutrient analysis. And in addition to the cookbooks, the Heart Smart Shopper helps consumers to choose healthy foods when shopping. And I don't know if you've seen that, but in the store, some of the products will have the red check mark and the Heart Smart.
They're getting better with that too.
Yes.
All the time. They're getting better listing the nutritional value of foods and
fat content.
Yeah.
That's right.
They're getting really good with that.
So I think people should really, be aware, and when they're shopping, watch for that Heart Smart Shopper symbol on the product.
Right, right. Well, it's a whole new way of looking at life, isn't it?
That's
I know
right.
it was a bit of a shock to my dad at first, but he's adjusting.
It's a shock. It's an
And
adjustment
to Mom
for the
too,
whole family.
for cooking.
That's right.
Yeah. Yes. So I guess any message to give to anybody out there watching would be to give generously when somebody comes to the door, obviously.
Give generously, and I like to say give what you can.
Sure.
Because I know in Cape Breton economy especially, times are a little tough. But if everybody just gives what they can, You know, every dollar goes for a good use, and every dollar will not be wasted. And I just think that, you know, give what you can, and it will be a help. You know, if people think that you know, $1, $2 is not enough, that's not right. You know, whatever they can give, we are certainly appreciative of.
Right. And don't feel bad when they come to your door and you've just come back from grocery shopping and paying a couple of bills and you don't have a lot, because, you know, maybe the next time they come you will have some more. And like you say, give what you can.
Give what you can, and there is a website that I'm sure you'll put on the screen, and people, if they can't donate during February for one reason or another, there are ways to donate through the website, or mail it straight through to the office in Halifax, and that information I'm sure you'll have available. And like I said, the coordinator is Arlene Harris, and her number is 539-2920. If anyone wanted to volunteer and help out during February, I'm sure they could always use help this year or next year. I'm sure Arlene would never turn away someone who wanted to volunteer. So 539-2920 if you want to talk to Arlene.
Okay, great. Now, that's the door-to-door part of it. Now, you are in the educational part of it, and I guess making people more aware of the programs that are at offer, right?
Well, not so much in the education. We have a health promotion, like a coordinator, Clara McLean. She works for Cape Breton, but I do work with the school-based programs and with some of the community programs.
Okay.
So if you'd like me to talk a little bit. Okay.
Well,
these are really fun programs. The two school programs that I deal with is the Jump Rope for Heart and the Hoops for Heart. Now, Jump Rope for Heart is a skipping rope event, and it's geared at grades primary to 5, and it's been around for many years. The Hoops for Heart has been in other provinces in Canada, but this is our first year for Nova Scotia. It's basketball related, it's a lot of fun, and the Hoops for Heart, because this is a first year that we're doing it, the coordinator or the teacher would get what we call our Heart Smart Toolkit, and in that toolkit is all the curriculum that a teacher would need to do a unit on healthy living.
So like a semester in a high school?
Yes, there's a, well, it's not geared so much for high school, it's more like a 6 to 9. But there would be no reason why a high school, you know, couldn't do it. It might be a little bit below the educational, you know, level of a high school student, but as far as the activity goes, and there's a stethoscope and things in there. And the same with the jump rope. Now, a school who would be returning as a, you know, a school who had already done a jump rope event, they wouldn't get this kit because they would already have had it. But any school registering for hoops will get it because everybody's new this year. And also there's always incentives. The Heart and Stroke Foundation is always, you know, really good with incentives. The gifts that the children get.
The t-shirt's nice.
The t-shirt is lovely. There's for hoops there's a basketball. There's a visor. There's a water bottle. There's a backpack. Yeah, and these aren't all the levels. There's things there that I don't have. There's a portable CD player. There's a bubble clock. There's a basketball keychain. They can only give us a sampling, of course. And the same with the hoops. With the jump, the skipping rope, flying disc, visor, and these things are cumulative. So that if they raise $14 to $35, they get the skipping rope. If they raise between 35 and 59, they'd get the skipping rope and the visor and so on, right up to all the prizes. So, you know, they're really, really nice. So the student gets incentive prizes, the coordinator, the school gets the kit. The school itself gets what we call Heart Smart points. Now, Heart Smart points are $1 point for every dollar raised, and 1 point for every participant. So it can really, you know, run up, and then we use a catalog, which we call our Heart Smart.
Now, who would you approach in the school? Would it be the gym teacher, the health teacher, I think they call it PDR now. I'm not even sure what PDR is.
We find that it's generally the gym teacher is the phys ed teacher is the person that, because it's a you know, an activity, physical activity, that they're generally the person that is, you know, most involved in this. Sometimes it's the principal, depending on the size of the school, whether or not they have a full-time phys ed teacher is another thing. Sometimes in smaller schools it will be the principal who will want to do that. So I've been contacting all the schools in Cape Breton and trying to, you know, get them on board to register. It's a wonderful event. It you know, does physical activity for the kids. It's a win-win-win for everybody. It's like a really good program. Plus, I will now, because I'm in this position, be able to go to the schools on the day of the event and have some added incentives and some prizes and draws, and maybe I'll even skip. Who knows? That might be
So wait,
to see.
the whole idea here is you're playing basketball or you're jumping rope.
That's right.
So is it like a jump rope-a-thon or a basketball-a-thon?
The schools do it in different ways.
They team up against each other.
Sometimes
and have
the hoop schools will have like a round robin, or they'll do it like a tournament event. With the jump rope event, it's like a skip off, you know, or they're really free to do whatever they want. I know some schools where they actually do part of their physical activity. They will do a section on jumping rope because it's a really good physical activity.
Yeah, it's good
and
cardio.
and they use our program as like a part of their program. So they had this every year anyway. Those are the schools that are returning. They're doing a section on skipping in their health class, and so they just work it in, and it works out perfectly.
Great.
And then with these Heart Smart points, we have this catalog, and from the catalog they can take
DVDs and
oh,
TVs
there's everything,
and all kinds of goodies.
everything, electronics,
Sports
music,
equipment.
that's right, school supplies. Plus,
And this would be for the school,
that would be for the
obviously.
school. And if they didn't want to use the points, there is the option of what we call a 10% net check that they can take. Now, when I was figuring it out, I don't think it's quite as good a deal for the school because they have to deduct the amount of the cost of the prizes and things off of that amount. So I really find that the using the Heart Smart points is much more beneficial to the school to get more equipment. But there's just, it's amazing, you know, how it'll add up and what they
And
can
obviously
get.
all the money raised through any of these events is going directly
Goes
to the
right
Heart and
back
Stroke.
to Heart and Stroke for
Good.
research and health promotion.
Good.
Yeah.
So are you hoping that the kids put the bug in the gym teacher's ear now?
Oh, I would love it. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I think that it's getting the word out there, and you know, things like this is perfect because that's what it does. It gets awareness, you know, it gets the word out, and we appreciate that. You know, we appreciate the time here to do this, and you know, February is Heart Month, and it's a great time to be thinking about what we can all do, whether it be through the schools, in the community. You know, I haven't yet talked about the big bike ride.
Yes, and I want to go there because this is fascinating.
That's fascinating. Well, the big bike
I'm
ride
interested in
is
that.
kind of fascinating. I've been on
Yeah.
it 3 times through Straight Richmond Hospital when I was involved with the
Now,
hospital.
before you go too far, Holly, this big bike actually holds 30 people.
30 people.
31, actually.
No, 30.
30.
29 and the
29
driver.
you need for your group.
Yes.
Okay.
We provide the driver.
And they've been, you say, in the area at least 3 times. I've never seen this
Oh,
bike.
they've been in Nova Scotia for years, like, you know, coming through. They come from
Wow.
Calgary. The bike is shipped from Calgary, and it comes here. And Kay Breton gets the bike first, and I believe it's latter part of July and into August. I can't pinpoint our week right on, but we will be
You'll
the
have to
first.
let us know.
I will let you know,
Yeah.
and we will be the first in Kay Breton to get the bike. We always are because for logistics,
Start in Cape
it starts
Breton
at Kay
and
Breton
moves
and
west.
moves exactly.
Okay.
So, as you said, it is a 30-seat bike, and it tours through the province. You have a team captain.
Yes.
Now, this could be a business, it could be a family, it could be a community organization that would say, I would like to be a team captain, and I'll get 29 riders, and we're going to raise dollars for the Heart and Stroke Foundation.
Now, you don't
Nova
go very
Scotia."
far before
You
we
go 3 to 5 kilometers.
3 to 5
It's far
kilometers.
enough.
Oh, yeah, especially if you're not used to riding a
Unless you
bike.
cheat and don't pedal, like some people do.
Oh,
Like
no,
my
you got to
sister.
do your part.
She said at one time, if there's 28 other people pedaling, I don't see why I should have to. But no, you do, and they really, it's like they cheer you on. You can say chants. You can do whatever you want. They even now have a sound system, and they can play CDs and music. And the driver is generally so good to get you going, and they get you, you know, chanting, and they have all these things. And we have police escort, and it's quite a big thing to come into the community.
When I read the write-up on the big bike, I thought, how could this have happened? I figured it never happened before because I never heard nothing about it. I'm thinking, how do you miss a bike that holds 30 people?
Well, the thing is, it wasn't.
I want a seat on this big bike,
Yes,
okay?
okay.
So how do I do that?
If you want to sit on this big bike, the
Yeah.
first thing that you do is you figure out a business or an organization. Maybe it's your business right here. And it doesn't have to be
But we're only
just
3 employees.
That doesn't matter. We all have families.
Yeah.
We all, if you're 16 years old,
Yes.
you can go on the bike.
Okay.
So, you have 3 employees.
Right.
You have spouses, maybe you have children. You have
Yeah.
aunts and uncles and brothers and sisters. You get a great big banner advertising Telile, goes on the bike. You get a picture after you're all done of your team.
Okay.
Everybody gets a copy of the picture.
But Telile doesn't have to be the only team on the bike. Could there not be a Samson family reunion
it could be
happening? And
exactly, yes. And
Okay,
I was
good.
thinking as I was doing some research on this, is that this year is we all know, the 400th anniversary of the Acadians.
The COVID mondial.
And there are going to be
Yeah.
so many Acadian communities through Cape Breton having,
I'm reserving
events.
my seat before they all start.
Well, what you have to do is you have to find, like, you could decide that you would like to be a team captain.
Okay.
And if you were a team captain, then it would be your job to, you'd work with me, but you would go about getting 29
28.
or
other
28 other riders, and you would go, and then it would come right to Arishat, or to Petit de Gras, or to Discouse, or wherever.
people. Well, we could go from Petit de Gras to Arishat, or from
Well,
Arishat to
they
West.
pick out a route for you.
Oh,
and
they pick it out. Okay.
yeah. Oh well, I mean they're pretty good, but they try to make it central in some place that you got.
Not Samson's Cove
We
up
don't
and
want
down the big hills.
exactly. We don't want to be going up the hill.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, maybe we do. But anyway, and I would come on the day, and I would have the prizes, and the prizes are really
Now,
nice.
would I look for sponsorship?
Yes, that's how we make the
Okay.
money. Every rider goes out and gets pledges.
Okay.
That's all how this is all work. The student gets pledges
Right.
for doing the event. And the same with the big bike ride. You would go out and say to somebody, I'm going to be on the big bike. And people are really excited, especially if it's never been to the community.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and say, I'm going on the 30-seat bike, and, would you give me a pledge? And, like, you might come up with, $5 from this person, $10,
That's right.
and it adds up.
That's right.
And then there are incentives, and I know there's a draws that they have this year between Nova Scotia and PEI. One team is going to win. It's called 29 Bikes for 29 Riders. So every person on that bike has a chance of winning a mountain bike.
Oh, good.
Plus the team captain theoretically could win 2, because they would get like 2 ballots. Anyway, there's a little more information I need on that, but it is a new thing this year, 29 Bikes for 29 Riders. So you imagine
Wow.
if
A little more incentive.
Plus, there's a national draw for a TV for a team. But there's all kinds of like little things built in. You have to reach a certain amount of money and things like that. But I would work with the team captains, and the team captains this year get a nice hat which says team captain on it. So you feel pretty proud up there,
Yeah.
leading the pack. Yeah, so it's really fun. It is a lot of fun. And I'm telling you, it might not seem like a lot, but the muscles in the calves of the legs will be sore the next day. But you'll feel good.
Yeah.
You feel good.
Yeah.
And I can just show you this
That's
year.
like the Terry Fox run. I participate every year.
Exactly.
I don't always do the full 10K because that's a little more than I'm used to walking on
Right.
a regular basis.
But you do your part.
But I do my part. And I tell people, you want to give me some money, it's going to the good cause, but I'm not doing the whole thing.
Right.
So maybe I'll get on the bike and maybe I won't ride the whole distance. No, I will.
Well, you can't get off. You still pedal. These are some of the prizes for this year.
Okay.
They're really nice.
T-shirts
This
and
is a long
visors.
sleeve one. It's really
Oh,
nice.
very nice.
Yeah, really nice. And there's a fleece one that I think is lovely.
Now, do you get that if you raise a certain amount of
Certain
money?
amount,
or you
yeah.
buy
This
them?
is these
You
are your
can't buy them.
prizes.
Okay.
No. And then there's this 3-in-1 seat. It has like a seat and a poncho and some things in it. And there's the hat, of course. But no, these are the same as anything
You might want to
else.
bring the hat over here so we can see it, Holly.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And there's the big bike.
There's the big bike. Those are the same as these programs.
Now, it says big bike for stroke. Does this mean
That's
money
for
from
stroke.
this goes to the
Yes.
stroke
Yes.
association?
Yes. Yeah, that's the one that's geared towards stroke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Which still affects a good many people.
Well, it's all part of
Yeah.
And it's this goes all across Canada. Like, this is not just in Nova Scotia. This goes all across Canada. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's a big thing for the. It's unique to the Heart and Stroke Foundation. This big bike. It's one of the things that's so much fun too. I can't tell you how much fun it is.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have your number as well, Holly. I'm
That's
sure
right.
you've seen it. So if somebody is really interested in becoming the team captain or
Yes.
being a part, I know I want to see it on the big bike.
Yeah.
I want to be one of 29 people on that
Then
big
you
bike.
be a go-getter, and you either be a team captain or you find one.
Now,
And
is
then
that a weekday, a weekend?
It's generally on
not during working hours?
No.
Okay.
Most of the time that we've had it would have been like, it goes on all day long, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a weekend.
Okay.
But the times I've been on it was like in the evening, like 6 o'clock in the
Okay.
evening or something like that.
Good.
But no, we work those things out with the teams as best we
Okay.
can.
Yeah.
We don't want to have a team that registers and then can't make it because our timing is not flexible. So that would be my job, to schedule the teams appropriately.
Okay.
And the one other thing I wanted to mention that is part of my job is Paint the Rink Red. Now, this is
Yes.
just once a year, and it's in conjunction with our Cape Breton Screaming Eagles. And we like to do it as close to Valentine's Day as possible. So I have booked it for Friday, February 13th. That's about as close
That's
you're going to
about
get.
as close you're going to get.
So 7 o'clock, so it's at Center 200. And what we do is we'll have volunteers there selling our Dress Red stickers. So they'll be like heart stickers for $2. The fans will buy them. We will. There'll be pre-game announcements for 3 games following, building up to our event, and they will be asking that people, the fans, wear something red. And that's the idea of painting the rink red. We want to see lots of red.
Lots of red.
Lots of red. And then we want people to buy our stickers for $2. And then during that night we'll have all kinds of prizes and giveaways. And this is my first year doing this, of course, but I know from the lady that did last year that it's a lot of fun. And people appreciate the gifts and the excitement.
Yeah.
And our K-Breton Screaming Eagles, the last time that I checked, are in first place. So
that's right.
Let's hope. And that night they're playing the Quebec Rampart. So that should be a good game.
Good game,
So
yeah.
Friday, February 13th. Get your tickets.
In
Center
Sydney.
200.
Center 200. Great. Well, I want to thank you for coming in today, Holly.
You're very welcome.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we close out with a video that you provided? Well, the Heart and Stroke Foundation has provided us with a video called Making a Difference, and you tell me it's very touching.
It is a very nice video, yes.
Yeah.
I think that video in itself will tell the listening audience everything that they need to know about the heart and stroke. I just thought, when I saw it first, it was so touching and so true. And this is a Nova Scotia video with Nova Scotians.
Right.
And these are stories of people, stories of volunteers. It's very, very nice. I think people will really enjoy it.
Okay.
And maybe after the video is over, I could come back and just say a few words at the end.
Well, I want to thank you for coming in today, Holly, and I want to thank our viewers for watching today. And if you have any future show ideas or comments to make on today's show, I'd be happy to hear from you. And you can reach me at 226-1928. Thank you for watching Telile Today. I'm Rhonda LeBlanc.
Everyday routine was next to impossible. I couldn't walk upstairs. I could walk for about 10 minutes. It just hurt to stand up alone.
She was very irritated, looked to be in a lot of pain. Thought she had gas. 16 weeks old, that happens. Turns out she started making really quick, jerky movements on her left side. Felt really bad feelings.
Most people use the expression like a herd of elephants sitting on your chest. You can hardly breathe and the water's pouring off you.
My heart levels were dropping dangerously low while I slept and normally through the day, and I have to have the pacemaker within the next 3 weeks.
I felt, am I going back to work? Am I going to have an active life after?
Fear. When I heard he had to have the pacemaker, it was fear because in my mother's family there was a lot of heart condition.
Everybody was devastated. And as time went on, it sunk into me more how deathly this was for her and how she may not make it.
They told me in the hospital in the 2 weeks I was admitted that I would never work again, and that hurt. I didn't want to believe it.
Jeff became medically stabilized, got better, left hospital, and gradually was able to resume his normal lifestyle and to get back his personal confidence. And in addition, Jeff has been a very active player in our research program.
Well, I don't think that you have to spend very long in the front lines of medical care to realize that there's an awful lot of stuff we don't know. And I think that, certainly every day at my work, I come into a situation where the available information just doesn't provide all the answers. And so that's where the research really comes in.
The HOPE study was a very large study that recruited close to 9,300 patients. The enrollment for the study started around 1992, 1993. And the patients who were enrolled were older than 55 years of age and who had some form of vascular disease, previous heart attack, previous stroke, or disease in the arteries of the legs. It was a very positive study showing a beneficial effect when used in the high-risk population.
The Heart and Stroke Foundation provides the mechanism for groups like ourselves to look at the problem in new ways, to say it's not as simple as it looks, to test ways to make a difference, to basically build a future for patients like Jeff.
The Heart and Stroke Foundation has played a big role in my life. The medication that I'm on, the research had to had to have come from somewhere.
I volunteer for the Heart and Stroke Foundation because it's a very important cause, but also I like the idea of getting out and doing something knowing that the end result is going to benefit so many people, so many people.
When you think about charitable organizations or nonprofit organizations, they are volunteer driven for the most part, and at the Heart and Stroke Foundation, I can honestly say that the money is well spent.
Well, the money goes in large part to funding research into heart disease and stroke in a very broad way, because the research that gets funded involves prevention, treatment and rehabilitation.
That's the most important thing to know about the Heart and Stroke Foundation. From a point of view of research, they are focused on making significant differences, things that translate to an improved quality of life and survival for people like Jeff with serious heart and stroke problems.
For myself personally, when I get positive results, it only indicates to me that I am not the only one or a handful of people who are aware of and who are concerned about heart and stroke and heart disease. The messages are getting through, that people have got to start taking care of themselves to live a longer, healthy lifestyle.
The Health Check program is, I would describe it as a food information program for consumers, so that they could have a process to pick out foods an easy way to pick out foods at point of purchase, i.e. the grocery stores, to determine what is a healthy choice.
A healthy lifestyle is extremely important. We know that cardiovascular disease occurs in people with risk factors, and risk factors are basically characteristics or habits that predispose to arterial disease, which is the main problem in cardiovascular diseases.
We focus on 4 main areas, and we're increasingly finding out better information to make our messages clearer. And the 4 things are maintaining a healthy body weight, not smoking, exercising regularly, and controlling alcohol intake.
The situation could come up, chances of it happening, that someone may need your assistance. You could save a life. And the difference between saving that life and not being able to help is a simple CPR course.
Within the Heart and Stroke Foundation, I manage the Advanced and Basic Life Support Instructor Network for the CPR program and 3 advanced programs for adults, infants, and children.
You never know when you're going to need it. You always think it's never going to happen to me, but it could be your young child, for whatever reason, might have a heart attack or might have something going on, and if you know CPR, you can certainly save that life.
I would be devastated to see that if my mom or my dad or somebody had a heart attack and there was no one around who knew CPR, and that person's life was gone because of it.
Be part of the chain of survival. Know the signs and symptoms of both heart attack and stroke, so that should you have to access 911 early, it is done. And know how to do CPR, so that if the person becomes unresponsive and has no pulse, you know what to do.
To any corporate sponsor or any other person involved in fundraising, what I would say is that cardiovascular disease is the #1 cause of death in the Western world, and I think we have to reduce cardiovascular disease, and from that point of view we still need support to continue research in early diagnosis of disease, the management of disease, and preventing future disability.
The overwhelming societal healthcare burden is heart disease and stroke. Because of our aging population, this has turned into a demographic time bomb. If you want to get the most out of your donation, if you want the best bang for your buck, invest in healthcare advancement for heart disease and stroke.
The people that donate their time, their money, and everything to Heart and Stroke Foundation are heroes.
When I see what the money from the Heart and Stroke did for me, that made that these doctors were able to do what they did for me to start with, and then the research that they're coming up with to make our surgery even easier than what I went through. So I mean, that's #1. You wouldn't need any other reason but that
as a volunteer, I would say to the business community to give their money now because it does make a difference across the lifespan, be it research, be it health promotion strategies, even in cases like an 18-month-old baby like Tatum. So give now, give and give now.
I took Tatum to the playground yesterday, and she actually climbed a ladder. Things like that is showing me that she is going to go somewhere.
He's got the most sophisticated pacemaker in his chest right now, and he's living a normal life, and he's umpiring ball, and he's got lots of energy, and I guess what I'm saying is there's a face to where the dollars have gone.
That was the happiest day of my life, to go back to work, and it brought a smile to my face. I never stopped smiling the whole day.
I've been doing great, back very active with volunteer work, traveling, and leading a normal life again.
I see her future as being very bright. I think she'll overcome it.
What if we could stop a heart attack before it even starts? Support research. It leads to medical miracles. February is Heart Month. When the canvasser comes to your door, give what you can and help the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Nova Scotia find answers for life.
What if we could stop a heart attack before it even starts? Research into the root causes of heart disease can make it happen. As a leading funder of heart and stroke research in Canada, we need your help. The Heart and Stroke Foundation, finding answers for life.